The old pocket watch, his father's before him, had stopped at 3:07 p.m. For Elias, time had stopped with it. It was the moment the doctor had called with the news about his son, Leo. The cogs and springs of his life, once so orderly, were now a frozen, tangled mess. He sat in the sterile silence of the hospital room, the only sound the steady, artificial hiss of the ventilator. Leo, his vibrant, laughing boy, was reduced to a still form in a white bed, a prisoner behind a wall of coma the doctors couldn't breach. Elias was a man of logic, a watchmaker. He believed in things he could see, measure, and fix. And he could not fix this. Despair was a cold weight in his chest, heavier than any metal. He had argued, he had begged, he had raged at a silent, unresponsive universe. Then, with nowhere else to turn, he remembered the worn Bible in his wife's nightstand, the one she had read from until the day she passed. A whisper of her voice echoed in his memory. Just a little faith. Eli, it doesn't have to be big, just a mustard seed's worth. A mustard seed, the smallest thing he could imagine. His hands, usually so steady, trembled as he closed his eyes. He had no elegant words, no practiced prayer, just a raw, desperate thought sent into the void. Jesus, his mind whispered, the name feeling foreign and fragile. I don't know how to believe. I don't know if you're even there. But my boy, my Leo, I have nothing left. I have this. He pictured that tiny, imaginary seed in his palm, the smallest measure of hope he could muster. This is all the faith I have. Please. He opened his eyes. Nothing had changed. The machine still hissed. The monitors still blinked their indifferent rhythms. The crushing disappointment began to rise. Then, a movement, a twitch. Elias leaned forward, his heart hammering against his ribs. He stared at Leo's hand, the one resting on the stiff hospital sheet. Slowly, one by one, Leo's fingers curled inward. Then his thumb. His hand formed a weak but unmistakable fist. And then it opened. The small, pale palm turned upward, and the fingers uncurled completely, lying open and relaxed. It was a gesture of release, of surrender, of reception. A single warm tear fell from Elias's eye and landed on the back of his own hand. He wasn't a theologian. He didn't understand the mysteries of prayer or the will of God. But in that open, vulnerable palm, he saw an answer. It wasn't the crashing miracle he'd wanted, but it was a sign. A quiet, profound sign that he had been heard. He looked at his son's peaceful face, and for the first time in weeks, the cold weight in his chest cracked. He hadn't moved the mountain of his circumstance, not yet. But in offering the tiniest seed of faith, he had found that the mountain mover was already in the room. And for now, that was enough.